Welcome to the Eclectic Thrift and Crafter, where we thrift and craft with purpose. It's Small Talk Sunday. Well, actually, it's Small Talk Sunday on a Monday because it's 12:14 in the morning. So we may as well start as we mean to go on. And yes, it is starting to get cold. It was 19 degrees yesterday. Well, we made it look almost like this picture, and it'll be ready at Christmas time. Let's see what's in our haul for today. I only get to go to Hobby Lobby once a year, and it's before the Christmas season because the Christmas things are 50% off. And some of these things are from Amazon, and I'll let you know which is which. So we're going to begin with this daily calendar. It is undated, and I purchased this on Amazon. It is a weekly calendar. There are 52 pages in this little spiral notebook. I bought this for myself, and I bought one for my son. My son has executive dysfunction disorder. It's his first year in college, and he has to live by a day timer to keep his life organized. That is part of the disorder. It affects your organizational skills. So this is perfect for him to plan his lessons every week and stay on top of things. It eliminates a lot of stress. I'm going to be using it to plan out my crafts for the rest of this next coming year, as well as the rest of this year. So I think it's wonderful. The next one I get for him will be an actual teacher's guide, since he's going to the education field, and he'll learn how to plan his own lessons, and he'll be familiar with the teacher's lesson plan schedule. So that was a wonderful purchase. This is from Hobby Lobby, and these were 50% off. They look vintage, but they're not. But we have all those Putz houses yet to make before Christmas. We already did the main Putz house tutorial, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them together, and then I'll show you how I decorate each one. I'm just going to take a week and get all of those pre-glued together, and then I'll share them with you. So here we have the magnets that I'm going to be using for the doors, as well as attaching the faux ceiling to the floor above each room. This will make it easier, as I stated before, for repairing or changing out the lighting fixtures if I choose to. I chose to put faux ceilings. I can change out the design of the ceiling if I wish at any time, but these are the magnets I'm going to be using for the doors as well as the ceilings. They're very strong. I'm very happy with the purchase. It's just a very good quality metal, and I think it's going to work perfectly for the project. Next, we have a fondant mold. I found this fondant mold on Amazon, and I purchased it specifically for the brickwork for the Inglenook hearth, and it's going to be wonderful. These are some molds I bought. It came in a set of 3. I was only looking for this particular one to make possibly a slate floor that I can change out the floors in the kitchen if I like to, and it wasn't very expensive at all. It was only, I think, $7 for the set of 3. I'm not really interested in these other 2 molds. They just happen to come with it. That's the one I was after. And of course, stocking up on the E6000. I do that once a year. I generally use 3 of these large tubes per year, depending if I'm sold a lot of birdhouses during the craft fairs. I might go through 3 extra, but it lasts me a long time. I would advise that if you're going to stock up on the E6000 glue, do it sometime in the middle of summer. When it starts to get into craft fair season, it disappears from the shelf very quickly. I bought seashells. I bought small seashells, and then I bought some micro shells. These shells are going to be for display in the exhibit room of the library. There's only a few small shells that I'm looking for in this particular bag. I really wanted the micro shells in the other bag because they're very, very small, perfect for 1/12 scale. that is a project we're going to be doing this winter, and these shells are going to be perfect. My priority right now is getting the house completed and decorated for Christmas, and then we'll work on some of these little projects like with these shells. It's going to be a small exhibit, a little science exhibit in the exhibit room. I was really happy with them. They were not very expensive at all. I found this little church ornament, and it turns on, and we're going to put that by one of the trees on the outside at the top of one of the porches on the build, and when I get it decorated for Christmas. All of the Christmas items that you're going to see in this little haul were 50% off. The little church was $7.99, so it was 50% off from that. These particular shells I got for the smallest one in that package because I don't know if there's a shell like it in the larger packages. This little train set was absolutely adorable. There was part of a set like that in the box that my son gave me of all that doll furniture, but it was missing a few parts. These are some hunting long guns that I'm going to put in the library, part of the grouse hunting section, because on these large estates they grew their own food, and pheasant and grouse were some of those food items. These are newspapers. Now I can print them. I did buy some rice paper to try to print my own newspapers, but these were only $1.29, and I thought it wouldn't hurt to pick up a set. The RIT dye, now this is the perfect color, and what I'm going to do is make a wash with this RIT dye, put it in a spray bottle, and now that all that stonework is complete, I'm going to lay it out on the garage floor on a tarp, and I'm going to spray it all with this RIT dye and get it just to that Coupum granite green that I want it to be. And I think using this RIT dye and doing a wash is going to be perfect. I will pre-spray the paper mache so that it will absorb the color and the moisture, and I think it's going to work okay. I will create a sample sheet and dry that paper mache out before I do the entire house, but I think the wash with the RIT dye is going to be the solution to getting it to that great Coupum green granite that I'm looking for. And of course it's craft fair season, so I'm just getting these bags because I have small projects that I'm going to be doing, and I'll film them and share them with you, and may not be in the order that I'm filming them, but I will share them with you when the craft season is over. But I won't have to buy bags for the next couple of years. These are wonderful. These are Mayberry Street, and I happened to go by the little miniature section and thought, well, this would make wonderful little Christmas wreaths. They're not holly leaves, but I think they're going to be just fine. I'm also going to use them on the trellises that we made. I only bought 2 packages. I have to return some white little blinky lights that I bought because they're going to be burning too hot for a project I'm doing. I just need to change them for the LEDs, so I'm going to buy a few more of these strands while I'm over at Hobby Lobby. They are not 50% off, but that's okay. I tried to look for them in spool form on Amazon, but I could not find them in a spool form. I do like to buy things in bulk, especially if I'm going to be using something on a large project. But I'll be able to get 2 or 3 wreaths out of one strand. Each strand is about 36 inches long. And they are going to be perfect. Very happy with that. These were my favorite purchase of the day. They, of course, were 50% off, and we are going to use those to make small Christmas trees for the build, for our 12 rooms of Christmas. Each little branch pulls right off, and they are perfect for our 1/12 scale Christmas tree needs. I have saved the handles from several chubby paintbrushes from the art room, and so we're going to use those for the basis of the Christmas tree and put these branches on them in a Fibonacci sequence pattern, That's how things happen in nature, and I think they're going to make absolutely delightful Christmas trees. Purchasing 6 of these is going to give us far more trees than if I would have purchased that log with the 3 trees on it for about $18. I couldn't see spending that much for 3 little trees when I'm going to get probably 3 times that amount for the little bit that I spent on these 6 wreaths. And see how the branches are going to fan out to make a natural looking tree? It's going to be perfect. So that'll be a project that's coming up. I thrifted this wonderful shadow box a few weeks ago. I just wait till I have enough to share with you. I paid $5.99 for it at Goodwill. It's quite large, and the project I'm going to do was inspired by subscriber Diane, and I'm going to replicate my grandfather's Italian grocery store. That's my mother as a little girl and my grandparents. I am so grateful that I have this picture. It's a project that's not going to be coming up till maybe late winter or spring, but there it is. I'm very excited about it. It's a very challenging little project. These shadow boxes are terribly expensive, so I think it was a good price for $5.99. This is a wine box. I purchased it for $2.50. This is what it looks like inside, and I thought it would make a really wonderful little storefront. Maybe a milliner's shop window, something like that. Here we have a wonderful little miniature piano for the children's room. I paid 50 cents for it. It was 50% off. I had the right color that day, and I think it's absolutely charming. Then I found this tree. I'm not a fan of bottle brush trees, so if I can find a tree that looks somewhat realistic, I'm going to pick it up because it's going to come in handy for our build. Then there's this little wagon that was 49 cents. The tree was 50% off. And now we have this vintage Game of States. It has these wonderful little trucks in it. And let's see if we can find the rest of them. There's 2, 3, and 4. They're all there. And these little pieces are going to be perfect. I think they're just the right size for cakes for the kitchen. So we'll get everything separated out, and we're going to set aside with other miniatures that I shared with you in previous videos. I'm going to have to start a jar for these little miniatures. So we have enough of these little wooden pieces. That's going to be perfect. We will find a use for them in the build, most definitely. So I'll get all these cards put away. It's not necessary to keep them if you're saving the box for ephemera, but that's what I'm going to do. Whenever I collect something, I only allow myself a limited amount, and this is going to be a perfect addition for my ephemera jar. I paid $3.99 for it, as well as having a 20% senior discount on top of that. I cannot remember if I shared this little summer chair with you, but I'll share it again. I'm just going to peel the Christmas decoration off of it. It's not quite 1/12 scale, but it's going to serve our purpose out in the yard of our manor house. Last but not least, I came across several games in the last couple of weeks, and this is what I found. I found an assortment of Monopoly games in various designs. I'm going to save this black plastic for a project. I'm going to see if it's going to work. I will try it before I share it with you. This particular Monopoly game is Best Buy, so it has some very interesting pieces. There's a handful of pieces that are just too modern for my interest. I'm going to set those aside and maybe just put them together in a jar when they add up and sell them on eBay. Maybe someone else can use those miniatures. That's a little Best Buy tag. I don't really know what that was. Some sort of computer part or tower or something. Then there's a little, I thought the boots were absolutely adorable. Those I'm keeping, as well as the little truck. I think that's the only thing I'm keeping out of that whole assortment. Very possibly that little Best Buy sign, and make a something for the kitchen, a canister or something for the kitchen. But everything else I'm going to set aside because it's too modern for my project. And let's see. We just have more standard pieces there from Monopoly. Another little shoe. You get enough shoes together, you've got a pair of shoes. So there we are. Some of these little houses I'm not going to save. The gray ones I'm going to save and paint and use in the toy room for the little girl. And save this cardboard. It's nice sturdy cardboard. Just cut those edges off and you've got some crafting cardboard. So we're going to harvest as much as we can from these games, from the pieces to the boxes. And here we have Clue. It was $3.99. Save the game boards as well. It's wonderful, stiff cardboard for projects. Hang on to that. We're going to harvest as much cardboard as possible. And here we have all the pieces. We have the wrench and the pipe, candlestick, revolver, the rope, and there we are. We have everything. And the dagger. Save the cardboard. And then the vintage Monopoly game. These games don't have a high resale value, and most of the time they are missing most of their parts. Now we have another little shoe. Now we have a pair of shoes. See? I can paint those black and put them right next to the little boy's bed. That's wonderful. And we have the little top hat. We can make a little milliner store. And we'll have a whole set of top hats. So we have a car. See, now I can put all the cars together and I can make a little race car set or miniature tether cars. I don't know if you all remember tether cars. I'm dating myself, but tether cars used to be a thing when I was little. And I think that's it. That's all the parts. I think we found about everything, and I am going to save that cardboard. So that is it for today. Next week we'll have a new little miniature project, as well as sharing a wonderful, wonderful project from subscriber Diane. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Please like and subscribe. Share my Thrifting and Crafting channel with your thrifting and crafting friends. I welcome your thoughts and ideas in the comments below. Check us out on Instagram and tap that notification button for upcoming announcements of thrifts and crafts. But most of all, have a lovely, lovely day.